Hey guys, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Um, a lot of you know me, and some not who are new. I will introduce myself. My name is Sean Hill. I'm the executive chef for Plano at Your Table in Plano, Texas, and for Intuit. I'm sorry. And today I'm going to be talking about breakfast sausage and specifically turkey sausage. This is a family favorite, one of my favorites. Something simple, easy that you can put together yourself with not a lot of fuss, and something that's convenient and doesn't cost a lot of money. Um, I, for one, started eating a lot of turkey sausage probably about 8 years ago. Um, Dealing with high blood pressure and just trying to eat better and do better things. I decided to start, subtracting pork from my diet. So I moved along to trying to eat a little bit more fish, more clean proteins such as turkey, some parts of chicken. Um, so when I used to go to the stores, I would always find, you know, uh, great turkey sausage. But the problem was it was so much sodium. It was just sodium laden, where it was just to the point where it was doing me no good. I mean, sometimes eating good is not always when you buy healthy things. The subtraction of certain things out of that product is going to give you, you know, um, heavy doses of something else. So the way I found out how to substitute that and how to take care of that problem is to make it myself. And not everybody has the opportunity to live with the chef or have the chef skills or whatever, but a lot of recipes, if you just take a little bit and shape them to the way you want to be, it doesn't take chef skills. It takes a little math and finding the products. And now with all the specialty stores, you can find certain things that you need or whatever. So uh, I'm going to move along and start the recipe. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Um, Here in the bowl, I have a pound of ground fresh turkey. I will tell you this. Um, you can buy turkey in two different categories. Most will find 85-15, or you'll find a 93-7. In this instance, I would go with using an 85-15. It's a little bit more fat in it because when you cook sausage, you want that, you're cooking it at a higher temperature. You don't want it to dry out. You don't want it to be dry. So I would use that. Um, it also gives you, everybody knows fat gives you flavor, so it's going to give you a little bit more balance. So, we're making these so we can stand to have a little bit more fat in it because we know what we're putting in it. It's no preservatives, there's no MSG, it's none of those things. So we can stand to have a little more fat in that. So a pound of your favorite ground turkey. You can find it anywhere. Don't have to be a specialty store. You can find it at your local Walmart, Kroger's, Vons. If we're going to California, Ralph's, places like that. So you can find it. And also, if you ever have turkey breast, you can just take it to your meat department and they'll grind it for you and put it on a board and give it to you. Um, but we'll start off, and I can tell you guys, you put that into a bowl, preferably at room temperature. We're gonna add a tablespoon of brown sugar. We're gonna add, and this recipe, once again, if you don't want to write it down, we'll provide it through our Slack page, and then I can provide it to anyone that want to email me and ask about it. I can easily get it for you and give you the recipe. Something I've been using forever, using some of my restaurants and everything like that. Uh, this is rubbing sage. You can find it ground. I will tell you that uh, ground is going to be a little bit more potent than rubbing sage. Rubbing sage is usually not around all year, but you can find it at specialty stores. But this I found at Kroger's. So, you know, if a recipe is calling for 2 teaspoons of rubbing sage and you use ground, I would use 1 teaspoon because it's going to be like it will give it a bitter kind of off taste. So I would, you know, steer clear of that. So this is 1 teaspoon of rubbing sage. We have 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic. We have a half a teaspoon of ground thyme, teaspoon of black pepper. I have a quarter teaspoon of onion powder. We have a teaspoon of fennel. You can substitute fennel pollen or ground fennel. We have a quarter teaspoon of crushed red pepper. And I didn't add any salt to this because when I'm mixing, turkey is a poultry, and when you put salt into that mixture in the beginning and you start working, it's going to pull all the moisture out, and you're going to lose a lot of your moisture. So I don't add my salt until the end, and then I'll blend it up as much as I can, and then we're just going to mix this together. You know, another recipe one day I'll share with you guys is I take turkey now and I make chorizo out of it. I mean, turkey is a very, very, you know, great product that you can blend into whatever you want. And one of the great things about turkey is because it's such a, you know, bland product that you can, I mean, you can add whatever you want to it and work it in and make it whatever you want. I mean, it's just certain things that you can use. I mean, you know, it's, you can just turn it into whatever you want to use with it. And it's a similar recipe to this that gives you amazing product. Now, I will tell you that, you know, working this into this, you know, one of the things is as soon as you get through mixing this and making sure that the spices and everything is well incorporated, you can start cooking breakfast if you want, you know. But I will say the longer this sits and, you know, overnight or a few days, of course, the spices and everything is going to, you know, go through that and make it a little bit more pungent. But I mean, if you mix it and incorporate it well, it's going to be, you know, and it's going to be great. You know, if you guys can see that, it's a little, I mean, it looks like breakfast sausage now. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's not a hard recipe. It saves you some time. It saves you, you know, some calories. It saves you some sodium. So, you know, one of the things that I do with this, I usually make a big bulk of it. I'll go to Sam's or Costco's or whatever and get, you know, 4 pounds of ground turkey, and I'll make, you know, 4 pounds of this and incorporate the recipe to match that amount of meat. And I'll make patties, and I'll take them and I'll put them in between wax paper and put them in a freezer bag, and then put them in the deep freezer. And then when I need turkey for breakfast or whenever I feel like having a piece of turkey, I'll go and pull it off. Using wax paper keeps it from sticking together, so it's easy to just rip it off and take it and throw it in the oven or put it in a skillet, and then you have breakfast sausage. In the fall time, like now, I've taken this recipe and adapted it to that season by adding some fresh maple syrup or adding some fresh apples to this. It makes a great thing. I mean, I use the same recipe for stuffing, making a stuffing during Thanksgiving by adding apples, a little bit of maple syrup, and some crushed pecans to this. And then instead of, you know, one of the things, I will get into some of these recipes, but I just want to share some ideas with you guys. I make a smoked cornbread that I use for my stuffing, and it goes great with it. So that's my turkey recipe. But like I said, we will share this recipe on Slack with you guys, and feel free to reach out if anyone. My email's in the system, so if you ever miss a recipe or want an idea of something like that, please reach out. So I'll open it up to questions. If anyone has any questions or want to ask anything, feel free to ask questions. Absolutely, you can use it to stuff into links, and a lot of people ask, where can you find sausage links or whatever. Most sausage links, I mean, that's the intestines. Um, you would probably have to find like one of your good local butchers that you use, and he could probably save you some intestines if they're still doing whole animal butchery. Also, at your local places of restaurant business, they now sell artificial stuffings. Not a big fan, but I mean you can use them. But yes, this mixture can be put into links. And one of the ways that I've made these into links without having casings, um, I just weigh it out to about 2 ounces on my scale. Roll, make sure you have a wet or oiled hand. Roll it into links, and then place it on that wax paper and put it in the freezer. And then it works out that way too. But you can stuff them. Any more questions from you guys? Uh, I've made these. I've done bourbon before, breakfast sausage, where I've taken bourbon with the brown sugar and cooked it down into a paste. And I've done vanilla. I've taken, usually when in the fall time, my wife does a lot of baking, and she uses a lot of vanilla beans, like fresh vanilla beans, Madagascar. So I'll steal a couple of vanilla beans from her stash and put it in a jar with sugar and make vanilla sugar. And you can use that throughout the year. So I've used that in my sausage. I've also made this. You know, you can make different like Mediterranean spices. Uh, I've also did some African, I guess you could say, heavily with smoked paprika, a little bit of cumin. Um, still the same idea with a little fennel, sage, and things like that to make different dishes for brunch and different things like that. So, it's up to you your flavor profile. But, one of my favorites is I told you the apple, but also using the vanilla and the bourbon, fresh maple. You can make it spicier by adding chipotles to it. Um, the one thing about making your own product at home is, the product's your canvas. You can make it into whatever you want. It can only go as far as your imagination. So that gives you an opportunity. When you buy things that's pre-made at a store, you have to take it as is. But when you make something or come up with something conceptually at home, to you, whatever you want to do to your taste buds. Certain people don't like a lot of sage, certain people don't like a lot of spice. So it's up to you to do that. But yeah, you can come up with different things. Yes, we do have the KitchenAid. Yeah, I do have that attachments. I do have the stuffer, the grinder, the pasta attachments. So I do use it, and you know what? I bought this KitchenAid for my wife for Christmas maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I probably used it more than she has, because honestly and truly, it was her Christmas present, but I wanted it too. So it makes a great gift. Those attachments are great, especially for grinding. Not only grinding your own turkey or beef or things like that. I'm a not to offend anyone, but I hunt, so I use it to take back scraps and a little bit of pork fat to make my own sausage, deer sausage. Also make my own burger meat, things like that. So it's a great investment. I promise you'll get your money's worth out of it. If you want to make homemade pasta, it's a simple process of, maybe one day my next chef table, maybe I'll make homemade pasta and show you guys how simple it is. And, you know, being in this business, it's a lot easier when and a lot more fulfilling when you're creating things and doing things for your family instead of going through a drive-through. I mean, hey, we're all busy. We all do different things. We have kids and sports and different things. So believe me, I've been through my share of drive-throughs. So, but when you get an opportunity to cook, please do so, because you know it's a fulfilling thing, and drive-throughs are rich enough. So let's put some of that money back in our pockets. So, our any more questions from you guys? Thank you guys. I really do appreciate you joining me today. And like I said, this recipe will be shared throughout our Slack. And if anyone missed anything, please know that this recording will be shared again too this evening. And if you have any more questions about turkey sausage or any recipe, feel free to reach out. I want to thank you guys again for joining me today, and I look forward to the next time.